Advanced vocabulary for literature and the arts allows for a more nuanced and expressive discussion of literary works, artistic creations, and cultural phenomena. Here's a detailed explanation with examples. 1. Literary terminology. 1.1 Allusion. 1. Definition: an indirect reference to a person, place, event, or literary work. 2. Example: the poem is filled with allusions to Greek mythology, adding layers of meaning for those familiar with the stories. 1.2 Bildungsroman. 1. Definition: a novel that focuses on the psychological and moral growth of the protagonist from youth to adulthood. 2. Example: To Kill a Mockingbird, by Harper Lee is often considered a Bildungsroman as it follows Scout's maturation. 1.3 Epistolary. 1. Definition: a literary work that is presented in the form of letters or diary entries. 2. Example: Dracula, by Bram Stoker uses an epistolary format, employing characters' letters and journal entries. 2. Artistic terminology. 2.1 Trompe-l'oeil. 1. Definition: an artistic technique that creates an optical illusion to make objects appear three-dimensional. 2. Example: the mural in the museum uses trompe-l'oeil to make the painted scene seem real. 2.2 Chiaroscuro. 1. Definition: the use of strong contrasts between light and dark to create a sense of volume and three-dimensionality in art. 2. Example: the artist skillfully employed chiaroscuro to emphasize the dramatic intensity of the scene. 2.3 Iconoclast. 1. Definition: a person who challenges or overturns traditional beliefs, customs, or institutions. 2. Example: Picasso was considered an iconoclast, revolutionizing art with his unique and innovative styles. 3. Cultural and historical terms. 3.1 Zeitgeist. 1. Definition: the spirit or mood of a particular period in history as shown by the ideas and beliefs of the time. 2. Example: the literature of the Romantic era often reflected the zeitgeist of rebellion against rationalism. 3.2 Pantheon. 1. Definition: a group of people who are the most important, famous, or admired in a particular area of activity. 2. Example: in the pantheon of English literature, Shakespeare is undoubtedly one of the greatest playwrights. 3.3 Dystopia. 1. Definition: an imaginary society that is undesirable or frightening. 2. Example: George Orwell's 1984 presents a dystopian vision of a totalitarian future. 4. Poetic devices. 4.1 Enjambment. 1. Definition: the continuation of a sentence or clause without a pause beyond the end of a line, stanza, or couplet. 2. Example: in the poem, enjambment creates a flowing and uninterrupted rhythm, enhancing the sense of continuity. 4.2 Apostrophe. 1. Definition: a figure of speech in which a speaker addresses an absent or imaginary person, or an inanimate object. 2. Example: the poet's apostrophe to the moon expresses a longing for connection and understanding. 4.3 Synecdoche. 1. Definition: a figure of speech in which a part is used to represent the whole or the whole is used to represent a part. 2. Example: all hands on deck is a synecdoche where hands represent the entire crew. 5. Advanced vocabulary for literary analysis. 5.1 Intertextuality. 1. Definition: the relationship between texts, especially literary ones. 1. It refers to the way that one text influences another. 2. Example: the novel's intertextuality is evident in its numerous references to classical literature. 5.2 Diegesis. 1. Definition: the world in which the story's events occur, the total environment of the narrative. 2. Example: the rich diegesis of the fantasy novel includes detailed maps, languages, and mythical creatures. 5.3 Metafiction. 1. Definition: fiction that acknowledges its own fictional nature, often breaking the fourth wall or commenting on the writing process. 2. Example: in The French Lieutenant's Woman, John Fowles employs metafiction by addressing the reader directly. Conclusion: advanced vocabulary for literature and the arts enriches discussions about creative works, providing precise and evocative terms for analysis. These words allow for a deeper exploration of the intricacies and nuances found in literary and artistic expressions, fostering a more profound understanding of cultural and intellectual dimensions.